Thank you, Alma, for doing this with us. Can you tell us your first and last name?
My first name is Peter Sakleh.
Peter Sakleh. And when were you born?
December 15, 1959.
And were you born here or were you born in Ramallah?
I was born in Ramallah.
And how long did you live in Ramallah?
15 years.
15 years. So what were your parents' names?
My parents' name Sami Butros Sakleh, and my mother named Zahwa Sami Sakleh.
How many siblings did you have?
I have 5.
5 siblings?
Yeah, 4 sisters and 1 brother.
What was growing up in Ramallah like?
It was we were kids. Ramallah was like Garden of Eve. It was a beautiful place. We have no worry. Even under the Jordanian, we didn't feel anything and see anything. After the '67 war, we still didn't feel anything. We were kids. We played. We go to the creeks. We go to the mountains, and we had all my friends, school friends, the Syria friends, the Kashef friends. It was I tell you the truth, is the best life that you could have. Even we weren't well off, but you never know, because everybody's the same. So it was actually the best memories that I have when I was growing up.
Can you tell us some of your favorite memories in Ramallah as a kid?
Well, my favorite as a kid is we go to the Syria, the Kashaf. We'll go there. We'll go after school, after we do our studying, we'll go to the Kashaf and we play soccer. We play a little bit of ping pong, foosball. We just then we go home, and you go home when the lights come on in the streets. That's our time to go home. The best time in the Syria is in the summer, when we, as a young cubs, they take us camping. We go camping. We don't go too far, but they give you the experience of the outdoor, in the tents, and it's just and discipline. That's the best part about it. They teach you to be disciplined, respectful to anybody, to everybody.
So you could say that was a really fundamental part of your childhood.
Yes, and that's what gives you the your parents teach you all the good fundamental of working hard, being a good person, being that. With the kashaf, it gives you the discipline that comes with it, and that's what I got all my friends. Most of them are here. We were in the same situation, So it's good to come to the convention. You meet them, you see them. We have a great time for 4 days, and we see each other next year.
Absolutely. How long have you been coming to the conventions?
I've been coming to the convention, on and off. I don't come every convention. I should, just sometime, how life takes you, So I've been coming to convention since 1977 in Chicago, on and off. So.
Is that around the same time you came here?
I came here in 1975.
And did you guys go straight to Chicago?
We came straight to Chicago. We went from Tel Aviv to Amsterdam to Chicago, and that's the last time I left this country.
So have you done any traveling, but it was all within the
all
US?
Within the continent of the United States.
Do you like the U.S. too much? You don't like to leave?
I think I always say that, and maybe I'm wrong. Whatever you want to see, you have it in this country. It's such a massive country. So if you want to go to a beach, you go down to the southern states. You go to Florida. You go to Alabama. There's beaches there. There's tropic. It's a staycation. It's a big staycation. It's a big. You want the mountain, you go to Colorado. You want the desert, I go to Arizona. You want to go see Ramallah, you go to San Diego.
If you want to go to the Holy Land, you go to Salt Lake City.
And here you go. That's the holiest land there. Here you go. But yeah. Unfortunately, I haven't been. I was excited in 2020 to go. We got the ticket. We go for Easter with the Federation. I was very excited to go, me and my oldest daughter. So we got the ticket. We got the passports, everything, and all of a sudden, COVID hit. So it just kind of,
panned out.
it just didn't pan out. Maybe because I was so excited to go. You know, sometimes things happen, but I'm hoping maybe maybe next year I could go with the Federation to the East on the Easter, and this way you go with a group.
2 weeks is a good time too.
I think it's probably more than enough there, But yeah, I would love to go. Don't get me wrong. It's not like Ramallah's always Palestine always in my heart, always in my soul. I don't forget it. I just never had the opportunity to go back, and all of my family are here.
So it was just you never had the opportunity to go back. Was there anything that swayed you not to go back, or?
No. I'm not one of those that really, I'm afraid of someone or anything. It just, no. It just the opportunity never presented. I'm more of a. I'm always proud to be a Palestinian, no matter where I go. When they ask, some people hesitant to say who they are and what they are. If I say it's a sin if you deny your heritage.
100%.
So
I agree.
So
100%.
Yeah.
And what made you guys go to Chicago? Did you have family that already lived in Chicago?
My father came before us, about 2 years before us. He left us, came here because his siblings are here. All his siblings were here. Had one in Virginia, D.C. area, one in Michigan, Detroit, and 2 sisters in Chicago. He came, I guess he did his tour to find where he belonged, and he found Chicago. Chicago back in the old days, it's a city where anybody and everybody could find a job. You could find, you could feed your family. You could, it was a time where there were factories everywhere. And most of Ramallah people came in and worked in factory, and so we came to Chicago and we never left Chicago.
Is that what your dad, did he work in a factory?
At the beginning of it, my dad is a master carpenter, but because of the language barrier, he couldn't do, but back home he owned his own little place.
So he had a shop and everything.
He has a shop and everything. When I say master carpenter, it's not just he doesn't do doors or windows. He creates the bedroom, the whole set of bedroom, and carves it by hand. So that's what a master carpenter is.
Did you wish that he passed on this
thing to
you?
I did. I used to go to the shop. I used to work. It just it wasn't my thing, I guess, and I just I wish I would have learned more. But it just life take everybody. Life, you gotta create your own story, your own path.
Exactly. So what's your professional career? What do you do?
What I did, my professional career, I was mostly in transportation. I was director of transportation for ambulance and Medicare companies, and then school buses. So I was the director of operation for those. Then one in my career, I was director of human resource for 2 companies.
Okay.
So I found operation more, fascinating and more challenging. So that I stuck with it. I worked in it for 30 some years.
That's incredible. And when your family came here, did your grandparents, did they stay in Ramallah? Did they come with you?
My grandfather on my dad's side, my family on my mother's side is both her parents were they passed away when she was 9, so we never knew them. But my mother from Ain Arik,
Okay.
the little town next to Ramallah, but her mother from Ramallah.
Okay.
So but my grandfather died in 1972. He was a little bit over 100.
What was his name?
His name Butros. Butros' name Sakleh. And his history, I'm gonna tell you about his history. Him and his brother, they were teenagers, Isa Sakleh and Butros Sakleh. They got on a boat and they came to America in 1900. They worked, both of them, They were young men, 17, 18. His brother was drafted United States Army, and he went to the World War I for the United States Army. He was the oldest, so they didn't take him. So they took the young one. In 1920, they both went back home to get married. My grandfather married my grandmother and stayed, and his brother married his wife and went back to United States, and they lived in Cincinnati. Then most of the grandkids and the great grandkids now in Michigan and all over. But my grandmother, her name is Hilwa Mfarrih Sakleh. She came with us. She came with us to Chicago. God bless her soul, and she passed away in Detroit because she had the 3 states to go to. So every year she packs her bag with her thobe, the white thobe where she want to be buried in. She takes it with her, and she goes to Virginia, stays there 1 year with my uncle. Then the following year they put her on a plane, send her to Detroit. She does the same thing. Then in Chicago she comes in and stays 2 years because she had 3 kids.
Wow.
But she 99.9 of her time stayed with us. That's the grandmother that we all know. But yeah, she came with us in '75.
That's incredible that she took the thought that she wanted to be buried.
She
in
did.
Ireland.
Yes, she did. She takes it because she knows that she was older.
Okay.
So, but yeah, her luggage with the thobe and everything,
That's
and
incredible.
she knows this is where so she ended up in Michigan.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So when you came here and then you started having kids, did they know Arabic in the house? Did you teach them, or did they mostly speak English?
We spoke 50-50, but mostly English. When you get here about 15, then you just but most of my friends are from Ramallah. We grew up with our community in Chicago was small in the 70s, and so we all were together. So, but my wife, she speaks Arabic, but she came here when she was 6 months old. So, but and the kids, we send them to Arabic school, في النادي Ramallah Club in Chicago. They have a school. We send them when they were kids. My oldest still, she learns and she writes a little bit. Melissa, her name, and my other daughter, her name is Andrea, and I have a son named Sammy. But they do understand it. They don't speak it well. I wish they would. I wish I would have taught them more. That was a mistake I made. But now, no matter what, they're drawn to their culture, and they're more into it.
Everybody comes back.
Everybody comes back.
Yeah, okay.
You come back home.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the one place you want to be.
Yeah. You always come back home.
Yeah. So tell us about your time in the Kashaf Ramallah. Did you play an instrument? Did you ever do the parades?
We did the parade. I didn't play instrument. I'm not really musical, but. No, we did the parade, the Septon Nur parade, I got there, my cousin took me in you start when you're 5 years old, and when I left, we started it. At the end, I was the one that carries the flag, the Syria flag in the middle of the parade. Then after that we went home. But yeah, it was the Kashaf it was so important to me, so fun. So it's like the whole place was one family. But yeah, the Kashaf it's the best experience anybody could have.
And you used to go every day after school?
We used to go every day, and on Fridays is off because the schools was back home is we go to school from Monday to Thursday. Friday we're off. Saturday we go to school, and Sunday we're off. Now I think they say it's Saturday and Sunday off. But back then that was, we celebrate Friday and we celebrate Sunday. So we didn't, Saturday we go to school. And Friday, we get up in the morning and we all, as friends, we talk to each other at school, and we say what we're going to do on Friday. So we meet at Nadi, and we start walking, and sometimes we walk to Ain Kenya, to go to the wad. We go to the water, to the creek, and we just keep walking up, and we walk to Ain Arik, and then we come to Ramallah.
That's incredible.
There was a lot of walking.
It was a fun time.
But it was a great time. It was like 6, 7 of us. And most of them now are in San Francisco.
Do you ever visit them?
We never visited each other, but we do talk to each other.
You guys should maybe plan a reunion.
I think, you know what? I was thinking about that. About 6, 7 months ago. Maybe I should fly up there.
You guys should all go to Ramallah together. That would be a fun time.
That would be a fun time.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And at the time, Sariyah, was it just the small, like it's the Ziyada house, right?
It was a Ziyada house.
Was it just the house at the time? It's not like it is now.
Well, no, it wasn't like this now. I don't know I seen what it looks like, but it was a Ziyada house. When I got in, it was a house right by the old bus garage, the Aliyah. It was right there. Then they built a new one across the street. Then they got the Ziyada house. And it was, they had the land next to it, and they paved it with asphalt. And that's where we played, soccer, basketball, and they did little gymnastic area next to it where, you on the bars. Then the time when I was about to leave, they start digging in for the pool on the other side of it. Okay. And I left. It wasn't done. It was just again, and we, they had people come and volunteer from Lebanon, from United States, white American people come in and that, but it was nice at night. Family would come in, we'll sit in under the trees, and they order coffee, tea, sandwiches, and but it was a fun time, and we scraped ourselves on that asphalt. We fall, we scrape ourselves, but we get up and go and keep moving.
You guys put your literal blood, sweat, and tears
into that place.
Yeah.
There you go. Yes.
And so Ramallah at the time was under Jordanian rule. Did you ever see when the prince or the king he came to Ramallah?
I was young. I was very young. My dad and my mom, they used to take us for Tira. They used to do the al-Ma'rad, they call it. It's a singing festival, fil Tira, and there was a big one in Palestine. So one time I didn't see, but I was young. But my mom and dad say that King Hussein was there. King Hussein used to come to Ramallah. They say a lot. I never seen him. But you see the Jordanian police, and most of them are, Ramallah people are police and that. But then after 67, they all moved out, and, I remember the first time after the war, after the 67, really in Ramallah we didn't see anything. We hear the planes, in the war, but we didn't. A lot of people they came and they left. They were afraid, so they left to go to the Jordan, and they got caught in Nagor. That's where the fighting was. In Ramallah was none. I remember my dad, Abui, he came to my grandfather and he said, we gotta go. And, my grandfather said, I'm not going anywhere. This is my house. This is where I will die. And he, in a way, you better sit down, and we really didn't see anything. We were outside, we were playing. We hear the plane going back and forth. A few days later, the Israelis were at the Manara, and they kept saying that, the Iraqis are here. They thought the Iraqi, liberated us, and we went out there. They were giving us candy. I was 7, 8 years old. They were candy to the kids. And they turned out to be the Israelis. At the beginning, It was okay. I mean, they were patrolling. Then it got worse as time go. There's more curfews on us. You know, they put curfews on us for, you know, the whole day, and they let the people go out a couple of hours to get, you know, the groceries or whatever. And you know, and during the day when you're on curfew, you can't really, you know, it was a traumatic time, because they used to come and knock on doors, and if you open the door, they will hit you. They will break your wrist with a baton. They just to do it. So they knocked on the door a few times in our house. I almost broke my mom's arm because she stopped opening the door. Yeah, they're thinking about it right now. They're not human. They, you know, they have no souls. That's what I call them. They have no souls.
Right. It almost seems like their entrance was a little condescending too. They're throwing candies at you.
Yeah.
As if they're celebrating.
Yeah, yeah.
And then over the next few years, they're beating you. They put curfews.
Curfews, and you know, they take away the water. They take away the electricity, just to make it difficult for people to start moving out. You know, and you know, yeah, they're really, they make you, and we shouldn't be hate. There shouldn't be hate in our heart, but they make you, you know, kind of look at these people, and really they're soulless. They could say they believe in God, whatever God they believe in, they have no God. Maybe some Jews do, but these people don't. No. So it was a very traumatic time for us growing up after 67.
So was that, you guys came
75.
75, so you lived under that for a good 8 years.
8 years, yeah. It wasn't, you know, it's not as bad as now, it's not as bad as a little bit before, but for us to experience that at the beginning, it was bad for everyone.
It was like the prequel to an upcoming bad story.
Yeah. I mean, just on that, I'm gonna take you to where it really traumatized me and in the whole neighborhood. It was a curfew. It was 10 minutes left to it. 10 minutes. One of our neighbor kid, you know, not a kid, I was a kid, he was 18 years old, opened the drapes on the window, and they saw him. They went inside the house, got him, took him to, you know, Fihar Darjirias. We're in one of the oldest one in Ramallah, the Hara Darjirias. It's old homes, it's all alleys. They took him to an alley where they called the Shanara, Har Shanara. And within that 10 minutes, he probably had maybe 2-3 teeth left, and the bruises on that young man, they were unbelievable. And finally, he ran, and my cousin lived in there, her and her husband, and he ran into their house, you know, just to kind of, and he was bruised from top to bottom, you know, and that was a traumatic for a lot of people in the neighborhood, you know. So, I mean, they were, yeah. But other than that, Ramallah before, that was a fun time. It was a great place to grow up. It was small, not like this. It was a smaller town where everybody knew everybody. You know, you're from Ramallah, so you know. It wasn't that many people, not like now. I see pictures that the mountain that I used to walk through, you know, it's built up. When I used to go to the harvest olive wood to my family after school, I used to walk all the way there. It's a long walk in the middle of nowhere. Now it's all built up, you know. So, but yeah.
So how do you think you would feel going to Ramallah now?
You know what? I probably would be emotional for me. Yeah, it would be emotional for me going back to see places where, I know our house is still there. We don't own it, but our house is still there. I know that because my daughter went and she told us, and my cousin, they take pictures and send it to us. But definitely it'll be emotional to get there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And do you think, so like if you could go back in time and then do you wish that you guys had stayed? Do you feel like you almost feel like you were deprived of living in your homeland after you came here, or do you feel like you thrived when you came here?
Well, as you know, when you come to the United States, that's where the opportunity it is. That's where you thrive. That's where the education. You got your kids. I finished high school. I didn't. College wasn't for me. It wasn't in the card. I had to work to support, to help my dad, to help my mom. There's 8 of us, so I'm the oldest. So it's not like I was deprived of it. But I wish my situation was different. I would have been, probably my future would have been different, But I do sometimes wish that we stayed there. It's a better quality, better life, better family life, But I'm, think about it. My wife, my kids, it's my family around. We love each other. Especially me and my wife and our kids, our 3 kids. We're very tight. If we don't hear from each other in a day, there's something is not right. We talk to each other a lot. So the kids are out now. Each of them are, different. One of them lives in the city. One lives in Detroit now, and one lives in Arizona. So really we're empty nesters, and it's hard not to see your kids every day.
But it's good that you guys have that contact.
We do. We FaceTime, thank God for technology. I really, I think, imagine that we don't have the FaceTime to see their faces. It would be, I think it would be devastating for my wife. She's, but.
Right.
But definitely we are connected.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So this will be the last question. So what's one piece of advice that you could give to the Ramallah youth or the Palestinian youth as they grow up and as Palestinian Americans?
The advice that I would give them, I gave my kids and gave them that, be yourself. Be kind to people. And always do your best. As long as you do your best, make sure you get education, and make sure you get education that's gonna take you, to even further where you're at. But always be humble and be kind to people, and that's what take you, through life and give you a peace within.
Thank you so much for doing this interview with us.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate it, and it was such a pleasure to hear your story and speak with you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And that's it. We're good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Wasn't that bad, was it?
Oh no, I wasn't worried about it. It just sometimes.